G'day punters, welcome to the mailbag previewing a good meeting on paper at Moonee Valley, but geez, it looks tricky with the predicted precipitation and the rail out 5 metres. Anything could happen. We could be racing on an absolute bog, Sandown Lakeside style yesterday. Wasn't that just horrific? Particularly if, like myself and like these three and everyone else who's part of the mailbag family, you had a really good lash there at So You Swing in the last, who, with 80 metres to go, surely traded below $1.10, as it was definitely going to get there. Then the flappy arms sort of kicked in and the horse just decided to stop. Anyway, we're seeing them well. We've got Nick Noonan on the show today with Jackson, who are the midweek podcast team. They've been flying. Nico's trial reports are flying, and we've given him a bit of a push to a bit of an assist. Now we've got Sydney covered as well with the great man Mark Sheen joining. So you can get trial reports for the Metro meetings in Melbourne and in Sydney via Nick Noonan's doing the Vic, and Mark Sheen is doing Sydney. Pistol, my man, Burnham Fanning, how are you?
Yeah, good. Just monitoring what's going on at Pinjarra today, and then just waiting for a few markets to go up there at Belmont on Saturday. I think I found a couple at Randwick as well, but we'll deal with that in a little while.
Thank you very much. Let's focus on Victoria, please. Jackson, how you seen them? You monster layer. You just like to sort of really just flop it out there and say, look at my bank, and I'm impressed.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I can. Oh, not too bad. Took a couple of early prices yesterday and got absolutely raped. But apart from that, it's going well.
Life's sweet down here in the peninsula. The internet's not too good, but aside from that, we're betting at the Bull today, and hopefully we can get.
Hydro Star laid last week by Jackson, which was outstanding wagering. Did you nip up yourself there early on at the big unders?
Actually, none of it. I was too smart for Jacko. I didn't drift, so I just decided that his price was still unders.
All right.
Too smart as he declares it a good thing as it runs last. Well done, mate. Well done, Nico.
They're up and about, these two. Like it. Anyway, punters, we're going to focus on the Quaddie legs at Moonee Valley. The boys might have a bet or two outside of these races. I don't know. I'm like you. I'm about to find out. Pete's going to steer the ship as we focuses on Sydney and Belmont. But we're going to kick off in race 6, which is over 1,200 metres for the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. The rail's out 5 metres. I don't think it's responsible to throw out a prediction on this track. Other than it's Moonee Valley, there'll be no disadvantage to be sort of in the front half as a rule. But if it gets real wet and it keeps on raining, God, if he exists, he wouldn't know. Jackson, race 6, thoughts?
Yeah, I found this a pretty tricky race. When I did the form initially, I thought hard landing was probably the starting point of the race, but I didn't love his last 200 metres there. Like the up.
At Moonee Valley, when the race was over at that point.
Yeah. But 1,000 up to 1,200, I thought he was probably the most likely winner. I was keen to oppose one here. I thought Rathland was way too. I've marked it kind of $12 here. Its trial up at Kensington was awful, and then its jump out at Caulfield I thought was only okay. Like it's had a very big 2-year-old preparation. I don't think it's come back well at all as a 3-year-old. I thought Flying Award jumped out well, but I think 1,200 metres was probably I think it'll be wanting further, so I'm keen to oppose Rathland. I'll probably lay at the win in the place.
Nicholas?
Yeah, it's a tough race to start. Like Jacko said, hard landing's got to be your start point, question mark 1,200. I think Flying Award will be the best horse out of the race. You look at his sort of form last prep in the SPs. He was in some very slowly run races, which might not be the case here with a bit of speed, like horses like Hard Landing, Zipping Boy, probably pushing forward, but I think his class may just prevail here, but again, we're going to be maybe on a heavy track by now, so sort of having an opinion early sort of Thursday, it could be tough in this race for sure.
Yeah, I thought Flying Award is the most progressive here. It's got the best jockey here. It's got probably the best gate here. I suspect it does its best work over 400 metres, and first up, if we are on a heavy sort of 9 or worse, it's just not worth wagering. The fit horse is Hard Landing. The map horse is Hard Landing. And I thought the 9 Zipping Boy There's a group of trainers who are airborne at Moonee Valley for whatever reason. Jerome Hunter's one of them. Willow rides. It's 1-from-1 this horse. You can't really knock it. It's coming off a synthetic win, so it's a big sort of risk. But I'd be cautious of it. It's race 6. We'd know exactly how the track's playing by now. But if it is on pace, I think Zipping Boy and Hard Landing will be pretty hard to stop. Race number 7, boys. Jackson, would you like to take us away here? This is race 7, which is, whilst my computer loads, Thank you.
1200 metre race.
Peter, are you there? I can't see Pistol. Normally you'd cover me there. We can't see each other. 1200 metres, benchmark 90. Benchmark 90, race 7. Odd behaviour from Racing Victoria, but you do you, Racing Victoria. Jackson, do you have an angle here?
Well, I want to ask Pistol Pete here about the Perth horse, Windstorm, before I go.
It does a little bit wrong in its races. It's still, despite the fact it's only lost the one race, it can just sort of skid around corners occasionally. And I went back through its form, and it's only had the one race at Ascot, and it did perform pretty well there. I guess last start was the only time we've ever seen it in a race of real strong tempo, and it completely obliterated the field and put some really strong figures on the board. I think this race here looks like there's decent speed. Gate 13, I suspect that wider half of the straight will come into play in some of the bigger fields there on Saturday. It's one of those that I found, I was pretty bullish on showmanship obviously last week. This is a case of I don't want to back it, don't want to lay it. It's a pretty difficult race for mine, and I'd rather see it go around first.
And for anyone who's just as the first show, when Peter says pretty bullish, he utterly declared it like it would definitely win. He called it a moral. He doesn't do that ever. So this is fence sitting. This is fine behaviour. This is an accountable betting advice sort of platform. But that's not a push compared to last week. Last week was a declaration.
It's an interesting race. Like, if the Valley plays how it usually does, like I mapped it back near last and wide and could be cast. Like its closes are proper elite, but I can't have it at $2. Like I've marked it closer to $3. Banquo, I thought, resuming on the heavy track, blinkers off first time. I didn't really want to be with it either. The two horses I found at odds here were Innkeeper, who loves it wet, has had excuses its last two, and then the start before closed really well against King of Hastings and the other one was Columbia, whose 2 runs at the Valley beaten a half length and 0.8 of a length behind Usain Bowler. The map's a little bit tricky from barrier 2, but I think we're getting the price on those 2 horses to find out, and I'm happy to play around the market
Nick?
here.
Yeah, I wanted to take on Windstorm, but then the more I sort of dived into the race, there's not much opposition here. Like, you look at his Perth form, he's been elite. His turn of foot, I should say, is probably elite. Like, his last 600 metre figures on punting form are massive. Like Jacko said, he looks, I think there's a bit of an opinion in the market earlier that he probably looks a bit short at sort of $2.20. I think you'll definitely get longer on the day. I think you might be trading closer to $3, and at that price, I think you could have a lot in these horses. And pending the way the sort of track's playing, if we're not really sort of into like a heavy 9 and horses can make ground, I think if he drifts, I will be back.
I thought Windstorm is poisonous. I thought price. Hate the map. Moonee Valley, wet. It's disgusting. The horse last week was a moral. In hindsight, was a moral, and still was very, very soft in betting. It got out to near $2. I think this horse will go north of $3, and I'll be happy to risk it then. I might try and lay it out there too, that $3 mark. I thought there's 2 horses here that are good bets here, like proper good bets in a wide open race with a stack of fresh horses. This is when I hate doing these preview shows, because I bet you this thing gets slashed with scratchings and I get slaughtered on my prices. But I thought particularly number 2 Snitzcraft. So this is a horse that was competitive at the Warrnambool Carnival, I think, top ahead, has a wet deck. It's going to make its own luck from barrier 5. Its form's good. It's very, very fit, if not over the top. It's sort of now or never for this horse, and you're getting $30 plus. It seems stupid. I thought the other horse that was big odds here is number 15, Fight. It likes the Valley, drawn a little bit better, can be a little bit more positive. I think they both can run big races there in race 7, whatever numbers were. Fight and Snitz Craft. Race 8, 1,000 metre dash. Oh, what do we do with Jungle Edge? Because if it's a Randwick style swamp, well, does it come back into calculations?
Yeah, it has to, I think.
Take us away then.
Well, with the scratching of Alpha Oro, it makes things a little bit interesting. Like Jungle Edge and Witherspoon look your two sort of on pace horses. If the track is in the heavy range, which I'm kind of predicting it's going to be around an 8, I reckon Jungle Edge starts 380 around that price. I'm pretty keen to take on a Brooklyn Hustle here. Like mapped awful last start, and the leader kicked around the turn and just got the blessed.
Like, was it Moses in the Bible? It was like that. Seas parted, up it went.
Yeah. A heavy track's a question mark. I thought kind of like what $3, like $2.90. I thought was absolutely poisonous. Keen to be against it. I didn't have great again. I tried to find, but back to 1,000. It's never seen 1,000 meters was an issue. Bonds Away hates the winning post. Hummer in the wet track. So I was kind of left with Jungle Edge here, even though I didn't really want to find it when I started doing the form.
Nicholas?
We came on Alpha Oro. I thought this was definitely his race, but he's been scratched, so that sort of made it hard for me to sort of really get stuck into the race. I think Brooklyn Hustle is millions of running. I wouldn't even consider her a runner at this stage. She'll be scratched for sure. I reckon you'll be taking $3 Jungle Edge. Will probably sit up on speed. Will probably lead this. I think Witherspoon will definitely lead him. He'll probably sit second. He'll get over the top of her, and look, he looks the most likely winner for mine. But back in Jade DeRose and Mick Ball in Melbourne is still something I'm yet to get my head around, and probably won't Saturday. But he does look like the most likely winner. And like I said, I reckon Brooklyn Hustle is just millions of running. So I wouldn't even put her in your sort of thought process, to be honest, punters.
Track's the key here. If it's not too heavy, I think Ashlaw is the wrong price. Number 3, Ashlaw. It makes its own luck. Loves, just like frothers upon the 1,000 metres at the Valley. I love it. I can't believe the price. A bit like the race before. I like Hummer. I hope Brooklyn Hustle stays in because I don't think it'll win. But like Nick, I think they'll scratch. And like Nick, I would have just sort of quickly done this race and just backed out for Aura. It looked immoral. Race number 9, punters. Cox Plate Trip 2040. Wowee. My old black book almost had a little fit when this race was spat out. There's plenty in here that look like they're ready to win. Some at big odds, some not at big odds. I'll just take this race away quickly. Up comes all this usual Synthhold and a speed map and all that. But Polly Gray deserves to win a race. Big time. Hoof on the till sort of stuff. I thought she was outstanding behind Mahatma Deus. Did a lot of work. People bagging the ride. It was a great ride. What else is he going to do? Be near last and do just as much work, please? Silly. Drawn 1, Waller might sort of land right near there. Miramar going good. Lord Durante was very good last start at Flemington. Could cross from 9 and give you a sight. Order of the Garter, I think, will start favourite and probably does win. This is exactly the sort of race. Nick, you're sort of the more hardened Victorian now. This is the sort of race that they pinch every year. Just to announce there, we're back trying again. This horse will run in the sort of lead up to the Caulfield Cup or something. Barrier 12, tricky. Very, very tricky, but the great man, D. Oliver rides. Dogmatic's going well, can win. Our Galileo was enormous last start, drawn barrier 6. That was race 1 at the last time I raced in Moonee Valley where 2 jockeys and connections didn't advise a change of tactics, but did, and the race was just a shit fight from then on in. Our Galileo killed him. Sir Pippin, I reckon ready to win. But barrier 10, this speed map, not ideal. And the other 2 that I love are 5 Kingdom. Poor barrier, they'll snick, probably won't be able to win. And WUT, a little bit of the same with it. I think it's ready. I thought Billy Egan slaughtered it at Flemington. It should have won there. But the barrier now, the map here is a lot harder than it was there at Flemington. And then the other horse is Skyman, who's done nothing wrong. Likely lands last, one off from barrier 16. But how could you bag it? Conclusion is probably not going to bet, but could back any of them. There's horses that look prime to me everywhere. I haven't even mentioned like Shabu, who God only knows. Or De Beer. Or two of these Japanese things. The two admires, which surely one of them or both of them get scratched if it's like worse than a soft 6 because they're used to running on roads.
All right, well, I think you've covered the whole field.
We'd like to go into detail here in the mailbag. One or two races I'd like to give my thoughts. There you go. Jackson.
Look, I from that 20-minute spiel, I thought Order of the Garden, most likely winner coming through the fast run race. It's had a month to get over that run. Probably starts, 350 here, not 450. And I can back
he's
Polly
become
Gray
a
as
big
well.
price man now, man, Jackson, hasn't he? A big price man.
I'm evolving, mate. I'm evolving.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm backing Order of the Garter and Polly Gray here. 2-bet play, not massive, but a little bit. Track dependent as well.
Nicholas?
I'll bring some clarity to the show. I think you've only looked at one horse number 3. Don't look at any other runner in the race. This could be a moral, Order of the Garter. Massive run, first up off a 672-day break. He's had 2 runs here in Australia. Both were outstanding. I loved his last start run. The market wanted to be with him. He chased a fast tempo. He found the line. I think up in trip now. The 30 days between runs tick. Probably just went down to the beach there at Danny O's stable. We've seen him do it before with good success. I thought Ollie would roll forward from 12. I know it's going back a long time, but he has some proper Group 1 form overseas and still could be a group horse here in Australia. I don't know if he's a Group 1 horse, given the time he's had off, but I think this just sets up perfectly for him. He'll swim through the wet track. This is the best bet of the day by far.
Punters, if you're listening at home, I'm just trying to give everyone a little bit of rundown on particular ponies because maybe they do like Agalo or they've been following Polly Gray, etc. Further to what Nick's saying, we're all sort of tipping the same horse here. They did sell a lot of pony recently. So I'm more inclined to give this horse more respect that it is sort of at that Group 1 level that they've kept it. And now that they're releasing it now. So they saw enough from that run, eased off on it slightly. Now they've tightened up again, aiming at the better races. This is when their horses start to get into work, that they're aiming at the big ones.
Yeah, 100%. For mine, if we're going to roll into some best bets, he'll be the best bet of the day for mine. Got to wait till late, but he should be getting the job done there with the goat on, as you like to call him there, Dicko.
You don't think he's the goat?
You don't think you don't think he's the goat?
Oh, he's probably up there. He's definitely up there. He's in the conversation. It's like the NBA. It's a conversation.
It's not a conversation in the NBA.
It's not a conversation in the NBA.
It's not a conversation, mate.
Kids.
Michael Jordan's the GOAT in the NBA.
And Ollie's the GOAT in jockey rankings, is he?
For mine, yes.
Is considering he's on a horse I'll be betting right up in the last. So putting our faith and Pike in Ollie, I'll also be having a good crack at Windstorm once he drifts. So I think he's a proper horse and could stamp himself as that on Saturday.
So your value bet on the card, Nick?
Tough day for value. I didn't really mention him, but I think in the same race, I think Innkeeper can probably run a place for you in race number 7 at sort of $6. Race 7, horse number 5. He'll probably be my value.
They got a lay for us.
Lay. Hard Landing, race 6, number 1.
Jacko, best value and a lay.
Best race 2, Talier will be winning. Value bet, race 7, Innkeeper and Columbia, and a lay. I'll be laying Windstorm. I'll be laying Brooklyn Hustle, and I'll be laying race 6, Rattlin' a place.
I will be laying Windstorm. I think if Pike rides this thing like he rode the other thing, he won't get away with it at Moonee Valley. That horse was very, very good last week, and I don't doubt this horse is really good, but great horses have been stopped at the Valley by the pattern and the speed map. I'm also keen to lay Brooklyn Hustle. Maybe the C's part, probably scratches, but I'm laying it either way. My value is race 7, number 2, Snitzcraft each way. And my best, I can't help it. I tried so hard not to do this because it goes against lots of things I sort of do. But I think race 1, number 1, Widgie Turf, even though the jockey Talia Hope's not ideal for this map, she's going to have to make a big decision. She could sort of be like buried fence, and does she wait and push out, or does she sneak back, lose all momentum and try and circle at Moonee Valley? I reckon even if she does that, she's a chance of coming over the top of him. I can't have this coming around at this price. The horse that beat it was very, very plain at Morphettville last Saturday. the horse that beat it was More Than Exceed at Swan Hill, leading into that explosion there at Flemington last start, which got me straight in the snuffy. But yeah, against it again here. Race 1, number 1, Widgie Turf, my best. Boys, thanks for your efforts. Peter, anything else to add?
No, not really. For a recap of everything, click the link below. And I'll throw out some stuff at Belmont more than likely as markets come up. They're just coming to life now.
If you want to support Nick, head to the mailbag.com.au and get his trial reports. There's a stack of horses first up through this card, and there'll be a stack of horses, good horses, first up throughout the carnival. If you can start to build a profile on these ponies in your puntingform.com.au database, you should be. You should be copy-pasting his notes into your database. That's what I do. That's what you should do. Bye for now.